very important day, and we're going to talk about Mother's Day and reflect on all of that. So Mother's Day yesterday, we celebrated yesterday. So happy Mother's Day firstly.
Thank you, Dougal.
And to all the mums out there that is loyally watching this as always, happy Mother's Day. Hope you had a brilliant one, because I'm always a little bit, I will be saying happy Mother's Day for another 2 weeks anyway, so this is the way I roll.
That is so true, so true. And I think, such a beautiful celebration, because for me, being a mother as well, and I think for a lot of women out there, mothers and women are powerful, and I always feel that they're the kind of the glue that keeps a family together, that makes things happen. And you always see once a grandmother or mother pass on, there's just not that glue, there's that separation. I don't know. I'm getting a bit... Yeah.
You come here with superhero stories, but that is what we're going to talk about, because essentially you're hitting it on the head, because mothers are definitely the superheroes of society. So that's what we're going to talk about today, and we're going to share our personal experience of Mother's Day, from growing up until now, and how you experience it, and the lack of effort sometimes from my side. So we're going to touch base on all of that, but also we're going to just focus briefly on what we know as the history of Mother's Day. But as always, you know what, you got to like this, you got to subscribe, so whenever we do these interesting videos, you get to watch it. And we look forward to your questions and comments. And of course, it's very easy. Maybe you've got a great story, of Mother's Day. Then we'll definitely put it up in the comments there. Let's get it going. So YouTube, Facebook, that is where the details will be. And you can just post it there. So firstly, we said happy Mother's Day to all the mums. Hope you got spoiled rotten, which is definitely the big thing.
Oh, yes.
But before we start, and the general definition, and people might be wondering for how long Mother's Day has been around. It's been around for since the beginning of time.
Yeah, it has. And I mean, as far as back the Romans' time and the Greeks' time. So the history where Mother's Day is concerned is actually quite interesting. And I mean, we now also looked at it. Because I think you're always celebrating it, but you actually never know the history of where it actually all started, and it's extremely interesting.
And so from what we've done, and we did our research. I say we did our research. Our producer, he does amazing things, with Google. They get together and they come up with some interesting stuff. So some of the stuff that we've looked at is obviously how Mother's Day from its early days or early inceptions, and that it was celebrated. And we're talking really donkeys years ago now.
Years ago.
And as you said, with the Greeks and all of that, and up until how we know it today. So Mother's Day is celebrated at different times and in different places.
Around the world, around the world.
So it's not all on the same day. I mean, a lot of us will know there's people who, let's say, in England or in other places, they celebrate it on this Sunday, and everybody else on, like, did yesterday, for instance. And the other one is just before Easter. It's always 2 weeks before Easter.
2 weeks before Easter.
Or four Sundays before Lent. The fourth Sunday in Lent or something? That's what I got.
And that one is called Mothering Day.
Oh, yeah, Mothering Sunday.
Mothering Sunday.
Yes,
exactly.
Yes. So, but here's the key, Rhoda, and let's get straight into it, because if you are there and you celebrated there, then you should have been here yesterday. 2 for 1, baby. That's the way. No, that's the way I'm thinking about it.
That would been a good one.
As you said, Mothering Sunday. So obviously, Mother's Day has always got, and the history about this is deeply steeped in the religious reasons, because it was firstly paying respect to the Greek goddess and then the Roman goddess, as you mentioned earlier. And then, of course, Mothering Sunday was absolutely huge. And it was a church day.
It was a church day, Dougal. So, in actual fact, what had happened was in the period of Lent, which is basically, about April, May sometimes, that you would actually then travel back to your place of your home, which is your mother church, and actually go to the service at your mother's church. And this is where that Mothering Sunday came from. It was a case of you having to travel back to your hometown, to your mother town, and actually go to your mother church.
Yeah.
So interesting, very interesting.
So that is where it stemmed from.
That's
and then, of course, it became... And I mean, in India, there's also a huge connection there. Exactly. And I got it here, and I actually want to mention it because, wait, I've got so many things here. But yes, and sorry, it's on this one that I've got it here. So as we did, so Sabile, the great mother of the gods, the Greeks, and then the goddess Rhea as well. So that was it, and the goddess Durga, which was a very important festival in India.
In India.
So those are the ones, and that's where it stems from, and that just shows you it's from all corners of the globe. The same sort of WhatsApp group originated. That's basically the point. From in the different areas, right? Because the Greeks didn't know where India was, and the what is it, the Phagarians, or what are they called? I don't even know who they are. Hello to you if you're watching. They different, and then it sort of went, and then it got to the States.
That got to the States, and this is where Anne, what's her name? Anne Reeves, yeah.
Yes.
And she basically took it and became, she wanted to celebrate her mother. And it was because of the fact that her mother was obviously a significant person. She did a lot of good for the community. She was an outreach person, helping the community and things like that. And she felt that her mother needed to be celebrated. And this is where she took advantage of the fact and saying, you know what, let's take in May a celebration for her mother, to represent her and say, you know what, this is what the mothers do out there. And she took that, and that's how Mother's Day became in America.
Yeah, and it stemmed basically from what was from celebrating Mothering Sunday.
Mothering Sunday.
Do you know what I mean?
Exactly.
And it was paying homage to that. And then it kind of got a little bit commercialized, I suppose.
Go. Exactly.
You know, so it is deeply steeped in all sorts of religions across the board, really. And then in the US, it sort of became a bit commercialized. Well, I say a bit, chocolatiers, confectioners came involved, florists, card producers. And so much so that she, at the end, was actually a bit annoyed by all of this.
She was, yeah.
She was a bit, and then she petitioned the government to stop all of this because you're losing the true essence of it.
Exactly.
And basically that's how we celebrate Mother's Day today.
And even South Africa, we actually took exactly that one and made it our Mother's Day as well. So yeah, it then also, I read the article and it said it crossed the pond. Yeah. So I don't know how it crossed the pond, but it's a massive sea and beach and whatever, and it came to us on our lands. And we then took that and embraced it and made it our Mother's Day as well. Yeah. But you know what, Dougal, it still comes down to celebrating a mother.
It is, it is. And the most important thing here is it doesn't matter where it is, although it started from ancient times to a commercial times, the point is that it is celebrated. Different times in different countries, so if I'm you, buy a plane ticket, go.
Travel.
But it is celebrated, so there's that indication of that, because Mother's Day is important. Now, before we really talk about our Mother's Days and our personal experience, and I really want to hear from somebody who's got, what is a great gift idea, because it's really one of those, you never know, Never know. But now here's the correlation with Father's Day. I get the sense, and this is purely my own Dougaldism, which I've taken from the book of Dougald with wonderful things that is still being written. But the point is, I kind of think that Mother's Day was the precursor for Father's Day. Do you get that sense?
I'll be honest, Dougal, I do agree kind of with you as well a bit.
I just get that feeling.
Because I must say, they do make, people in general, make a bigger thing of Mother's Day than Father's Day. Sorry, I have to admit to that one. Because
I had to look it up, and we're not talking about the Father's Day. Your time will come, and it's 6 minutes. So, 2 minutes is all you're going to get. The point is, in early 1900s or whatever, that's when Father's Day kind of formalized. Whereas Mother's Day, ancient times, we're talking Greek gods and all of that. We're talking ancient times now. So, but really, in terms of the commercialization of it, it's really a chicken-egg situation, isn't it? Which came first. But the point is, not only do we celebrate moms, and some of us are very fortunate to still have that maternal figure within our family, and you got to count your blessings, but a lot of us in society as well might not be as lucky. So Mother's Day is not just celebrating your own maternal mom, but it's also somebody who plays that motherly role in your life or maybe in society.
And I was actually just going to exactly say that, Dougal. It really comes down to that motherly figure. And I think that's why I think it was made of a bigger thing, because of the fact that naturally, as a woman, they're always looking at them as a nurturer, as somebody's always wanting to basically make sure that you're fine or you're okay. And as a father figure has always been somebody almost like that need to be the breadwinner, put the food on the table. Those roles has changed as well, Dougal, where it's not just these days the mother that actually does the nurturing. You get the father's nurturing as well.
Yeah.
But I think more why it became such a big celebration because that's exactly through the years. Okay, now times has changed, but it's really been the mothers that's actually really been the nurturer, been in the house, made sure the kids are fine, put on the plaster, put on the bandage, while the father actually went out and actually had to bring in, you know, the money, the food for the house, you know.
Yes.
Yeah.
I just, all I heard was bandage plasters. I mean, how vital for your kids, Rhoda?
Yeah, believe me.
But listen, let's get serious here. And I kind of feel here for dads because a big thing is made with Mother's Day, but I've got a serious point to make of it as well. But let's not forget Adam was first name. I mean, I'm not saying it. Good book people, can't argue. So it is what it is, and that's what it is. So that is the important. The biggest thing is, and this is a personal gripe, but I just want to be serious on this. Once we in South Africa, once we get to August, we celebrate Women's Month, and I want to be very clear with this. Women's Month is not Mother's Day.
It's not Mother's Day.
It's just two very, very different things. However, it is very easily to understand how we would appreciate people in that same way.
Oh, yeah.
And you would, but it is two different holidays. In the US, Mother's Day, like we had yesterday, is a public holiday.
It's a public holiday, yeah. Not like South Africa. It's not a public holiday in South Africa. Definitely not. And that's why we don't have a Monday the holiday. I mean, imagine after all our Easter and everything, the holidays we've been having, imagine we would have had another holiday.
Yeah, but
so we don't have, it's not a public
there's nothing wrong with it. So for the Father's Day, I am telling the government right now, come now.
You wanted us as a public holiday.
So listen, let's talk quickly about our Mother's Day as a child. So let me ask you this, you're a mom, and you've been a mom for a while, because I know your kids, they're quite big. You've been a mom for quite a while. Let me ask you this, Mother's Day gifts that you've received, before we talk about what you've done, but you must have had that moment where you probably cried because your kids did something.
I most definitely do, girl. And I enjoy the fact, I mean, when they were younger, they always make these little things. And me being very arty, obviously, I love art. I love sketches. I love drawing. I love putty and things like that. And this is what they used to do, is bring me these little things, which for me obviously meant the world. And what I'm finding now that they're older, they understand me as a person. They understand what I enjoy, what I love.
Yeah.
And I mean, yesterday was a classic example of the fact that I love chocolates. And they took me to have a place where they took me to have a little bit of coffee and chocolate, not cake, chocolate, So, and then afterwards, they actually had planned a whole arty, we could paint and sitting with them and painting. So this is for me the moments. And
So
this
very
was one of
personalized.
us. Yes, very personal. And this was for me yesterday very tearful and an emotional moment because they understood me, For me, it's not a case of the flowers, bring me this, it's that time spending with my kids. For me, that's precious.
So you got like a custom designed thing.
Yeah.
My
Very
goodness.
custom designed.
Yeah.
Not like a bring me a towel or bring me a soap. Or, no.
That's
that
impressive,
was
Rhoda.
sitting, spending time with me.
Wow.
That was quite nice. And I always tell them, I want to be with my kids. I don't need all these things. I don't want that. For me, it's that time with them. That's more precious to me.
That's impressive. I can't think. I got to be honest. The stuff I used to spoil my mom or gran with or something is definitely not on the level. What I can say is Rhoda's kids is up, or they are up for adoption. So if you want to just
No, they're not.
do
They're
your
mine.
thing, they'll get me for saying that.
But I must say, growing up, it was always a case of my grandmother. We were fortunate to have still have one grandmother, but my other grandma, my father's side, wasn't there. So we always celebrated with my grandmother. And the whole family, I mean, we were 6 kids. Pack up, go to my grandmother for Mother's Day. And we'll spend the Sunday with her. Obviously, with her passing on, it became that my mother then was the one we would go to. So she then took that role over. So this was my childhood growing up, always knowing that we're going to my grandmother on Mother's Day.
Well, mine was similar because I didn't grow up in Cape Town, so it was similar. You would go to the grandmothers, you know what I mean? The biggest mother. When I say big mom, I mean like the most senior mum in the family. So it used to alternate between the two grannies and stuff.
Yeah.
And the other thing that was big with us, we used to have church lunches. Where the whole congregation would get together, the whole parish, man, and it would just be tables and food, and I think some of them you used to pay, and it was like a fundraising thing. And even at school, we had like Mother's Day lunches, and we used to do all these things. And you know what, as you do as boys, I mean, boys are very close to their mom. So both my brother and I, we always tried to spoil my mom. And my mom was quite easy. And actually, I must tell you, on the inside of my mother's cupboard is a card. And over the years, listen, I'm old now. Let's be old people. I'm 67 years old. I just look very good. Born in 1922. Does that make you 60? I don't even know what it is. Anyway, so the point is, she's kept a lot of things that we've made. You know, the cards and the hand drawings and all this nonsense. She's got this one thing in her cupboard. And I actually remember, because every time she opens a cupboard, I see it. And I haven't seen it for a long time, but it's like, "Jy is mooi." And it was like, you know what I mean? Like, "You are pretty, I love you, you best, the mom," or something like that. It's all messed up. But it was like one of the first, but I remember the Sunday school, man, and it was like, you know, stuck together. And I remember that coming from Sunday school very, very clearly. So we made this, but I've got to tell you this. So we used to do this other thing, which was like a proper thing. Because Sunday, Mother's Day was like family lunch, right?
Family lunch.
Or just Sunday was big lunch, right? But on a Mother's Day, Mom wasn't allowed any near the thing. So, you know, you would braai, you would do all of these. But you wanted to make it extra special, so we used to just go for proper lunches, man. We used to go drive all the way from Bedasdorp up to Cape Town, have a reservation at fancy restaurants and hotels here in the mother city. And it was impressive. It was one of those things. And at the time, the dispensation in the country was different. My dad kept saying, "No, we need to be exposed to all these wonderful things." And then you will have a dessert table from here to there, and just meats that way, and all of this. So funny story. So we in one of the hotels here in town, and myself, my aunt, and the two of us were kind of congregating together. My mom and my brother, and my dad, and everybody else is sort of on this side. And me and her we were starting off with the starters, but it's all buffet, right? So we were just dishing soup, and we all sat down, and everybody is eating. And people are now eating, and everybody's like, they're all having like little salads and seafoody things. And everybody's like, "Now, where did you guys get the soup?" We're like, "Where do you think we got the soup? Nobody came in with soup in a bag. We're gonna try and get stuff from a bag to go out, but not the in." But we're sitting there with the soup, and everybody was like, "Yeah, they all would like soup." And at that point, the waiter just arrived and alluded to the fact that we might be eating gravy. So, and I know my parents, I know some family is going to watch this. It will definitely. Look, I'm not going to lie. As far as gravies go, it wasn't that great. But as far as soups go, it was delicious. I'm not going to lie. So there we were with bread and buns. And the gravy. Yeah. It was, and then you had to go to the meat course. But that was a Mother's Day. I remember that very clearly.
That's what I would as well. Oh my word, that's a good one.
It was a tasty soup, man. The gravy, it was a bit crap.
Oh, shame, man.
But that was like a funny story with Mother's Day. The big thing is, of course, now, I mean, even with Cindy now, my mom and her mom, what we try and do and what we've done over the last time, the kids really come to the fore. They really come, and then they do little arty craft things. And specifically, my son would ask, "So what do you want?" So we've been buying pajamas and slippers for the last couple of years, because now, you know, you're kind of covered with, you know, I know we've been doing those things. But in essence, this is a big day. This is not just, it is really a day that comes down to the most simplest thing, the most beautiful thing.
Beautiful.
The respect, the love, the appreciation.
Exactly. And you know what? I want to put it out there as well, Dougal. No matter who your mother is, even if she's drinking, alcoholic, drug addict, you know what? It's still your mother. And the respect, at least, it needs to come a long way. And I always used to tell a lot of kids as I was growing up, and I mean, you always have these kids complaining about their mothers and complaining about their fathers. And I always say, you know, it still comes down to it's your mother. You know. Let me
ask you this. We're going to wrap up soon. Is being a mom, is it the most honest answer now? Honest answer, like a serious question.
Yeah.
Being a mom, is it the most difficult job? And the reason I'm saying it is because it's something that we say all the time. But because we say it all, we don't really realize what we say. It's almost like, leave him, it's just so. But you know what I mean? But if I constantly hear that about myself, it starts to manifest in me in a way that might be not so positive. Being a mom is the most difficult job because you got it easy, man. No, I'm being serious now. Let's take that back. But
you can't say you got it easy, Dougal, because of the fact that I think as a mother, the fact that you, and I understand there is some mothers that actually don't have necessarily a nocturnal motherly instinct. I do know there's a few mothers out there that's actually, I'm sorry to say, there's not really supposed to probably be mothers. They weren't meant to be. But I can tell you for the mothers that at the end of the day, having to have a kid, carrying a child for 9 months, even some people a little bit less, when you give birth to that child, and I'll be honest with you, I was never a baby person. I wasn't that girl that was like, oh, here's a baby, ooh, that wasn't me. But I can tell you now, the moment I gave birth to my first child, that motherly instinct, it kicks in.
So it's just
instant. And from that day, Dougal, it becomes the most difficult thing because of the fact that you're constantly walking with your heart outside of your body. Your heart is outside of your body. So wherever that child is, wherever your heart is out there all the time. So you're so scared it's actually going to get hurt. It's going to be injured because they always take that piece with them. So once you give birth, that piece of heart of yours is gone with that child wherever they go. Yeah. And I think that's why it's even more difficult for a lot of parents losing a child because it's really a piece of your heart that's actually gone.
And that is what makes it hard. Because for any parent, and that is what makes it so super hard. Because you just got to trust everything. And most of it you might not even have a control on. Rensha Yagas is saying, good morning, hello family, morning, Rensha. Nice to have you as well. Hope you're just doing well. And what can we say, Rhoda? I mean, do you know what? Yeah. Mother's Day started off, as we said in the beginning of the program, from religious, faith-based origins. It is morphed into something in the last 100 years or so, as the American lady that you alluded to, who wanted to appreciate the mom in a significant way for the efforts that they've done, not just for her personally, but also plowed into the society, and honored it with white carnations. This was the flower that was used. It has morphed into that big social responsibility because any mom knows there. Because I know all my friends that came to my house, my mom was kind of their mom. But all the houses I went to, I was kind of a son in that house.
Yeah. Exactly.
So it is sometimes the hardest job. I still think you have it easy. It's only because Father's Day is coming up.
Yes. And Dougal wants a public holiday.
No, seriously. I have got a petition here. We can get 50 names on here. I think it's all we need. You just need 50 names, don't you?
50 names.
Yeah. Don't when people come with petitions, the online petitions, well, we need 6 million. Come now, do you know 6 million? I know 50 people. And 32 of them can write. The other 6 arthritis. So it's going to be difficult, but we'll get the name in there. All right.
Yeah,
so that is it, man. I hope you had a splendid Mother's Day. And the biggest thing is it comes down to the most important thing, that the respect and the love and the kindness that your mum have shown you. And you touched on something important. You said, sometimes things are sticky. It's just the way life works. But you still got to appreciate all of that, because it is never, you don't have to do a lifetime of positive things to be appreciated. The good things in life happen over time, but great things is in a moment, and that's the most important thing. Rensha is saying Happy Mother's Day.
Same to you, Rensha.
Is she mum?
I'm hoping, if not even so, to the future mom, Rensha.
No. And Happy Mother's Day to me as well. Thank you. But I hope you spoiled mom. And it's never too late. And it is just that random act of kindness. And if you were maybe in an unfortunate position where you couldn't see her because of work or whatever other obligations you had, then, just pop around, cup of coffee or anything like that. Yeah, that is what you got to pop around for. Do we have another comment?
No.
So that is all good. Oh, she's saying yes.
Yes, I'm a
Rensha,
mom.
yes. Happy Mother's Day,
Happy
Rensha,
Mother's
man.
Day, Rensha.
Yeah, awesome. Hope you were spoiled.
Spoiled.
Yeah, Rhoda had chocolates and coffee and paints and crafts. So she had a fun time, but she moest 'n bietjie gewerk het. She had to work as well. And hence, Mother's Day mom's work never stops, right?
Never stops.
Yeah. Anyway, that's it from us, man. Hope you
That
just
is
celebrated
so
a holiday that is absolutely beautiful, and in essence is all about just bringing your family together, which is really in the true essence what holidays should be and what celebration should be, and who better to celebrate than mom. Although I've been, dissing, but let's be honest, there's nothing better than that. Mother's Day beats Father's Day, 6 love.
6 love.
Don't you think?
True. I think so as well.
Which probably means we won't have a Father's Day program, because how do you have a program in 6 seconds? Be that as it may, what you got to do is like and subscribe. Of course, you got to join us, because we every Monday on Mahala Monday. And of course, we bring you thought-provoking programming, and as well as people who are making a huge difference in society, and great information that you could use all the time. So what you got to do, the first thing is, promise me this, you like it and you share this video. Share it to everybody you know, and especially the people you don't like, share to them, because in my world, that's a bigger list.
That is.
That's it.
See you.
Thanks for watching,
Bye.
everybody. Bye.